We remember what problems and imbalances the late Soviet economy faced. Therefore, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, its planned system, in the chaos of the 90s, the country began to create an economy based on market relations, private property. In general, everything is correct. In many ways, Western countries served as an example here. As you know, there were a dime a dozen advisors here, and it seemed sufficient just to copy their models. However, they were still arguing among themselves. I remember this. The Europeans were arguing with the Americans about how to develop the Russian economy. And what happened as a result? Our national economy has largely become oriented precisely to the West, and primarily as a source of raw materials. The nuances, of course, were different, but in general as a source of raw materials. The reasons for this are also clear. The new, emerging Russian business was, of course, aimed, like all other businesses in all other countries, primarily aimed at making a profit, and fast and easy. And what brought it? This is the sale of resources, oil, gas, metals, forests. Few people thought about it, and maybe there was no such opportunity to invest for a long time, so other, more complex sectors of the economy developed poorly. And to break this negative trend, everyone saw it perfectly, in all governments. It took us years, setting up the tax system and large-scale public investments. We have achieved real, visible changes here. Yes, there is a result. However, I repeat, it is necessary to take into account the situation in which our, first of all, large business developed. Technologies. In the West, cheaper financial sources and profitable sales markets. In the West, of course, capital began to flow there as well. Unfortunately, instead of expanding production, buying equipment and technologies, creating new jobs here in Russia, they were also spent on foreign estates, yachts, luxury real estate. Yes, then they began to invest, of course, in development, of course, but at the first stage, everything went there in a wide stream to a large extent for these purposes, for consumption. And where there is wealth, there, of course, are children, their education, their life, their future. And it was very difficult for the state to track and prevent such a development of the situation. It was almost impossible. We lived in the free market paradigm. Recent events have convincingly shown that the image of the West as a safe haven and haven of capital turned out to be a ghost, a fake. And those who did not understand this in time, who considered Russia only as a source of income, and planned to live mainly abroad, lost a lot. They were simply robbed there. Even legally earned funds were taken away. Once, as a joke, many people probably remember, addressing representatives of Russian business, I said, "You will suffer from swallowing dust, running around the courts and offices of Western officials, saving your money." That's exactly how it turned out. You know, now I will add a very important, simple, but very important thing. None of the ordinary citizens of the country, believe me, did not regret those who lost their capital in foreign banks, did not regret those who lost yachts, palaces abroad, and so on and so forth, and in conversations in the kitchen people for sure they also recalled the privatization of the 90s, when enterprises created by the whole country went for nothing, and the ostentatious, demonstrative luxury of the so-called new elites.